Hi guys! Today I'm going to be filming another book haul. This is going to be my last book haul of the year. I've bought far too many books in the last couple months, so because of that I'm going on a bit of a book buying ban until February. We'll see how that goes for me. I definitely acquired a lot of books this year, partly because the first half of the year I was still working at the bookstore and got a lot of discounts, but I've also just bought a lot in the last 6 months as well, and I have been in a bit of a slump, so I feel like I can't justify buying as many books when I'm not reading them as quickly. Anyways, let's just get into it. I want to show you all the books I've bought recently. I have a total of 26 books here. So let's just get into it. Okay, as usual, I tried to divide this up into used books that I bought and new books that I bought. And this time it's about 50-50. Let's start with the books that I bought new first. And most of these are more recent releases. So let's just jump into them. So I got Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson. This is a release that I've been really looking forward to. Our main character in this book wakes up and it's 3102 and she was in cryosleep. So that's about as much as I know, and people are calling her a goddess. So I think it follows her journey as far as that goes. And then I also splurged and got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Now, V.E. Schwab is actually a little hit or miss with me. I haven't hated any of her books necessarily. The Shades of Magic trilogy, I liked it. I have not read the third book, the final book. I liked it enough to read the first two books. I don't know if I like it enough to bother finishing it. I've also read some of the comics, and I don't know. Overall, the story is just, it's interesting, but it's not like I don't love it. It's just okay. Anyways, so we'll see how I feel about this one. I have not read Vicious or Vengeful by her, but I have a feeling I will like them. And then I also purchased Black Sun, and this is a very recent release. This cover is just beautiful. Like, look at it. I love it. I cannot wait to read this one. I'm actually considering reading it after I finish my current read, even though I'm trying to get through books that I've had for a long time before I read more recent releases. But when I'm just so excited to read them, sometimes I just have to go ahead and do it. Because otherwise I put myself in a slump reading a bunch of books that I'm like, yeah, I wanted to read this 3 years ago, but now I really want to read this one. And then, as you may have seen on my Instagram, I also recently purchased Legendborn, and I'm really excited to read this one as well. Again, a lot of these recent ones that I bought, these hardbacks here, are ones that I wish I had the time to just read them immediately when I bought them, but I haven't gotten to them yet, so that's where we're at. Also featured on my Instagram is Raybearer. I got the US edition, and then some of these I bought when Barnes & Noble was having a sale recently, and some of them are older books, but I like the newer covers and I haven't read them yet. So I got Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I love these new covers, like so much that my husband was like, that one looks cool, and I'm like, yeah, this is a Cinderella retelling, and he's like, oh. But I said, you should have seen the original covers because they were hideous. And then I also got Serpent and Dove, and then I also bought Wicked Saints. And I've heard mixed things about this one, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I definitely was willing to give it a shot when I bought it on sale. And then a book that I bought, I went ahead and splurged and bought this one. This is a well-loved science fiction series, and I'm trying to read more sci-fi going into the new year. And I bought Leviathan Wakes. Now this is a Prime original series called The Expanse. And it's funny, when I picked it up, my husband goes, oh, I saw The Expanse on Prime and I really want to watch that. It looks really cool. And I'm like, yeah, it's based off of these books. So hopefully I can get around to reading it before we go ahead and watch the show. Otherwise I'm never going to get to the book because that's how I am. And then I bought Fireborn. This is another one that's just really well loved by people, and I really just need to get to it. I just need to read it. I just need to do it. Maybe it'll be the first book I read in the new year. And then another well-loved science fiction series that I purchased the first book in is Children of Time. Now this is considered a science fiction classic, like it's, you know, like Lord of the Rings is with fantasy. So as I'm trying to read more of the well-loved series in science fiction, kind of a good intro into more science fiction reading for me, I went ahead and purchased this. And then I have 2 graphic novels that I bought new, and the first one being Noragami number 21. This is the most recent release in the series. There is a new one coming out soon, I believe. I have already read all of this, but I'm very excited to own it for my permanent collection. The other graphic novel that I bought is Junji Ito's Cat Diary. This is a really short comic. I really like Junji Ito. This is a kind of odd fact for me, I guess. He is one of my favorite comic book artists, and I mistakenly bought 2 copies of this. So one is either getting unhauled, or I'm going to give it away to somebody who would appreciate it. But it is really cute. It's mostly just about his cats, but because it's drawn in his style and told in his way, it is kind of like his cats are evil. But they're not really. Anyways, excited to have this in my collection. So those are the books that I bought new. Now I want to get into the books that I bought used. So I either purchased these with store credit I got from trading in books that I've read or unhauled, or I purchased them steeply discounted because they're used. They're usually between like $2 and $6. I'm considering saving the receipts from my future purchases so I can compare what it costs to buy new versus used. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. I'm definitely here for the sake of transparency. So for the used books that I bought, let's start with the Steel Crow Saga. I bought this one recently at my used bookstore, and I am excited to have it. Yeah, so it's set in a fantasy world, and basically this is where it got me. So in the synopsis, it's set in a fantasy East Asia with world building that evokes both Pokemon and Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was sold. And then I also purchased The Queen's Poisoner, and this is the first book in this series by Jeff Wheeler. This is an older series I've really been wanting to read. Another one that I found used that I was really excited to find is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. I own the first book in the First Law trilogy, and it's not the same edition that I own, so that kind of annoys me, like it doesn't match. But I think I got this for like $2.50, so I was really hyped to find this used. Like when I saw it, I was like, this is mine. Just immediately grabbed it off the shelf because the store that I shop at almost never has any of the big names in fantasy in stock. Basically, if they come in, they're bought immediately. So I was excited to have this and find it used. So, and it's in good shape. It's not torn up. It's great. I'm happy about it. Okay, and then I recently purchased some smaller mass market books again. These are, well, 2 very classic older series, and I got the books for, I think, 50 cents. It might have even been 25 cents each. It was either 25 cents or 50 cents each, so it was a good deal, and I've been wanting to read them because I just feel like they're staples that you need to read if you're a fantasy reader or a science fiction reader. So I bought Jurassic Park and The Lost World. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the second one, but I went ahead and bought it because it was so cheap. And then I also got The Lord of the Rings. I would have preferred to have bigger, floppier versions of these, but I figured this will make them convenient for me to take with me when I'm reading them. Yes, I have not read The Lord of the Rings. I know, okay? I know. I haven't even watched the movies. And then I have quite a few more here. So I bought A Court of Frost and Starlight. This is a novella in the series. I have not read it. I've been hesitant to because a lot of people basically just said it's fan service. Since this is one I haven't read, I went ahead and grabbed it. Said, why not? And then I got Where'd You Go, Bernadette? And from my understanding, this is a story about family dynamics, essentially, like a mother-daughter dynamic. Yes, it says it's a story about a family coming to terms with who they are and the power of a daughter's love for her imperfect mother. And then I also bought The Vanishing Half. And I've heard really great things about this one. I don't know exactly what it's about. But I am excited to read it because people have really hyped this book up, so I'm hoping this will be really good. I was really lucky to find the hardback for such a good price. I got Imaginary Friend, and I don't know if this is a story I'm necessarily going to like. The most recent DNF that I did, Middle Game, has been compared to this book. Like, it has very similar themes, and so I found that really odd. But anyways, aside from that, since I didn't like Middle Game that much, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this. I hear this is a little spookier, maybe a lot spookier than Middle Game. So maybe that will work in its favor, but we'll see. I went ahead and got it since it was so cheap. Figured I'd give it a shot. I bought The Three Body Problem. And this one I have seen new at the bookstore several times, but because of the price, I was not willing to like risk it, not knowing really what it's about. But for it being a used book, a used copy, and it's a Hugo Award winner, so it's gotta be decent, right? We're gonna give it a shot. Yeah, from my understanding, this is about an alien invasion. So that's pretty cool. I'm down for it. I need more alien books in my life. The last book that I purchased used is another modern classic, I guess you could say a contemporary classic, that I've heard is very good and very touching, and a lot of people consider this one of their favorite books, and that is Where the Crawdads Sing. Anyways, guys, that concludes my book haul. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing another one until sometime early next year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any input on any of the books that I bought, or you know, you want to talk about used books or anything like that, go ahead and comment below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And if you'd like to see more of this content, please subscribe. I trying to post twice a week right now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good rest of your week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.